Hello. Okay. I think that means I'm being heard. Hi guys. Welcome to another Tarcy Talks. It's the 50th episode. Honestly, kind of big, if I do say so myself. So it's the 50th episode of Tarcy Talks. Would be a great place to end this entire thing, but uh, probably not going to do that. So my next exit point is probably going to be around episode 75 or something. But yeah, so we're continuing. We're doing this thing, and no camp today. Well, I mean, honestly, not for any particular reason, but just feel super tired right now. So let's just leave it at no camp. I mean, I don't think my appearance fluctuates that much. I mean, I think I look pretty much the same tired, and or maybe I just look tired normally. Anyway, but yeah, so since Sir Q also doesn't have cam, figured might as well just start off with this so that there's no awkward part where it's me with the real face cam talking to the uh, the Discord image of Sir Q, and yeah, so let's just use this from the start and use this as the kind of takeoff point of our conversation. So today's kind of honestly, I was tempted to just put random random discussions as the title of the stream. Uh, kind of just wanted to continue the well. I mean, we are going to continue the Sir Tarcy letters questions. So if you have questions, we'll keep on answering them as long as there are still questions to answer on the form. You can find it on Discord, or you can yeah, it's on Discord. So under the suggestions, topic suggestions, so it's pinned there. So if you still want to submit questions, you can do so. And yeah, so we're going to continue that later, but I did want to talk about kind of add something because I don't want to kind of make an another entire episode out of those things. So I had to think of something, had to and I didn't want to put just random stuff. And so yeah, this is what I thought of. The mileage of effort. And yeah, there's honestly even though it's a topic that I came up with like literally, well, I would say about an hour ago, an hour and a half ago. Um, the more I've thought about it since then, there's quite a lot to unpack there. We've talked a lot about, uh, quite a bit about effort in the past Tarcy Talks episodes, but yeah, I think we discussed it more as a means or as a tool in order to reach particular goals and not particularly about effort itself. And I think there's a lot to unpack there. So, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Maybe it'll take up a good chunk of this particular episode, this class. Maybe not so much, and then we'll just use up the entire time with Tarcy Talk. The Dear Sir Tarcy questions. But yeah, I think there's a lot to talk about here. So in the meantime, let's wait for Sir Q. Sir Q uh is he there?
Here.
Okay, you're there.
Hi everyone. So Sir Tarcy forgot to deafen on Discord, which I think this is much better. So I get to
Actually,
be on board actually on time rather than being stuck at I actually did pop up for it. Um as opposed to watching the stream and I'm like delayed by several or a minute that I don't know what to follow or where I am right now. But yeah, anyways, good evening everyone. Good evening to the how many viewers would be watching. That's me, Sir Tarcy. So to the 5 viewers that are watching right now, I think Nathan's watching us. Well, that's to the 4 viewers that are watching right now.
Honestly, I don't
Good
think we have to emphasize how
evening,
small our
everyone.
viewership is. Can we just say hi to the viewers and then move on?
They feel special because they are the few. Oh, nabawasan tuloy. The few that do. Oh, mas lalo nabawasan. Oh no.
Well, we
Wait,
have one
legit
like. We
like
have one like.
two only that are watching na lang. Anyways, I guess one thing to start off with one good thing to start off with is a question as to how was your first day of work back in school?
I
So I
mean,
think a
that's a
lot
question
of
for
people
both of
are
us.
yeah, I guess so. But more of like I think a lot of students would be curious about how teachers are reacting to the new policy that the government all government employees has to be back to work 100% force.
Mm,
And as much as I understand that this is a good effort to bring
mhm.
back public service, but what about us? How
Hello, Josh.
yes, hello? Nawala ba ako? Hello?
A little bit. You were saying, how about us?
No. Yes, how about us? How do you feel about our first day back at work?
Okay. People know, right, that we're back at work. I mean, is that clear to everyone? that
Okay, to be clear for everyone, today is the first day that we were ordered to get our asses back to school.
mm. So, as you guys probably know, during the course of the pandemic, government offices have allowed for limited presence at the actual office. So that and since we're a public school, then that also applied to us. And so we were able to work from home, teach from home, and do all of our stuff from home. But now that we are now at alert level 1, we are expected to be at full capacity, albeit with certain preventive measures in place, such as wearing of masks and proper time shifting so that we don't get too crowded in the workspace. But since we are, again, we are government employees, we are also expected to show up for work. Show up for work to a school where there are no students. Well, there are a few students, but but okay. So honestly, mm, honestly, this is kind of why I thought of uh, the topic. So, but yeah, let's discuss this first. um, okay. Honestly, it had to happen sometime. It had to
Oh, no, no,
happen.
no. More of like,
Mm, mm.
what did you do today? And the first, before we talk about the repercussions, but more on what did you do today? Was there anything new? How do you feel different?
What did I do today? I did the same thing I do every day, except I had to get up 1 hour earlier, well, 2 hours earlier, almost. Travel to work, set up at a place where I don't normally have my setup, forget a lot of things at home, and still continue with my day anyway. So kind of like the same day, but a lot of extra steps in a certain sense.
Oh, you didn't have synchronous classes earlier, right?
No, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Hmm. I wonder how different it would feel. Would you still take your synchronous classes from your cubicle or would you transfer to a different room?
I feel like I'll find a room. As a Comsa unit is pretty small, or at least especially with Sir Javi in the room, and he can be pretty, he can very vocalize very well. So uh,
So that's what we call it now.
might be better to find a room. But then again, I don't know. I can probably manage somehow, even if I had to do it from my cubicle.
All right. For me, I had to wake up from my usual 1 hour before class, which was my classes start 30. I wake up around an hour before that, like mga 8. Wake up, okay, eat breakfast, ligo. prepare the homeroom slides, and then ayun. But for today, extra different because I was the you mentioned travel to work. I was the one who brought you to work.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but like Mark always needs to attend at least once a day, so that we had to adjust the schedule. At least for me, I'm up really early this time. It keeps me up and awake, and I'm more active in the morning. So I was awake actually. I woke up by the alarm by 5:30. Then I said, maybe 5 more minutes. Nagulat na lang ako kasi like that 5 minutes was actually 30 minutes that the alarm was now setting up for 5:50, and usapan natin we'd meet up at no,
6:10.
6:10, yeah, 6:10. I'd pick you up at 6:10. So like 20 minutes to get to Mark. Oh no, kaya ba? Kaya.
You're on time.
So
You're actually early.
yeah, I was early. I drove pretty fast. So yeah, getting there, paghatid kay Mark to mass, I went back home, prepared naman all my stuff for school, and then I even actually had breakfast. So not bad.
Mm.
Then traveling to work, traffic. The traffic is bad. It's
Is that already bad? I mean,
yeah, but it's kind of getting bad, I guess.
mm,
Buti nga maaga tayo eh, kasi like I feel like if we had left later, we wouldn't have made it in time.
mm.
But yeah, so that was the morning we got to school, and everyone's there. That's the thing. I mean, it's good.
All right,
People
again.
that you're familiar with. Oh, sorry. You get to
It,
see people that you used to work with. You get to see familiar faces and all of that, and it's good. Like everyone was smiling, everyone was happy, everyone nagchichikahan, nag-update with what's with new with their life, and so on and so forth.
you and I are very
Me,
different people.
no, no, they were that
Ah,
I was like I don't know what's kicking inside of me. Like no, honestly, I feel like we're still in a pandemic. That's why
mm,
uh it's until I feel like the moment that it gets declared as an endemic, that's when I can start relaxing being around people. But right
mm,
now, still a little bit worried because
mm,
like but I do understand. I do understand that it really helps their mental health that they get to see new people, they get to see not new people, they get to see me. I'm not so good with crowds kasi. That's why I feel a little bit awkward.
just
Especially
the,
like in
parang
my mind I'm thinking,
just the person who parang was saying hi to pretty much everyone you're passing by in
no.
school.
Oh, see, hey, okay, see, here's the difference between
Okay.
you can be respectful and say hi to everyone naman. Like even saying hi to Kuya Guard and Kuya Guard, not that bad. I mean, say
I
hi.
mean, no,
And then
I say hi, I
good
acknowledge,
morning.
eh, pero parang the way that you parang,
Ikaw, yung acknowledgement was just, with the head nod. Like, uh, you can
yeah,
say good morning.
our avatars are very appropriate. I guess parang they're an accurate representation of ano, how that was going.
But yeah, ayun, I pretty much just stayed in my cubicle the whole time earlier, except for the emergency meeting with where we had kind of sad news
All right,
later. But
kind of sad news.
yeah, sad news, which will be announced pretty much later on
Mm.
in the school year. It's just still in the works, but yeah. Oh, I did a tour by the way. Because I did not want to be with people. I toured Pisay during my homeroom class. So I showed them what Pisay looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like how everything is still under construction. The SHB
Hang on, your
classrooms.
homeroom is they were grade 8 when the pandemic happened, though. So they know what
Yes.
Pisay looks like. Okay.
They don't know what Pisay looks like. Actually, I was even asking them what were the grade 7 sections because when I passed by SHB, uh, the grade 7 side, I couldn't remember what were the sections in order as I was passing by. So they told me what were the sections. It uh, Going through one room to another room, it felt like phasmophobia, and I was oh. Anyways, but Yeah, there are a lot of new additions to the school, like new changes. Second floor SHB, all the offices on the faculty side have been moved. You'll realize how big the space and how old it is. And then like all the walls removed. Only the outer windows, outer wall is the one that remains. And then going to the SHB, there are now windows. Uh,
Right?
inside classroom.
Uh,
Oh,
there are
am I cutting
windows.
off?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are
You
windows. Oh no, I wonder if it's my mic. Windows that are sorry, windows from the corridor side
could.
looking in the room. So
Mm,
it's very, very new. And I feel like it's something that the teacher would be very distracted. It's a little bit higher than seating from the seating of position of a student. So they don't get distracted to look out. But
mm,
for a teacher standing up in front of class, I think I'd be distracted, be always looking outside the window and so on and
mm.
so forth.
Would you prefer a one-way mirror?
No, I think that I would be even more awkward that way, knowing that someone might be watching. But yeah, aside from that, I toured them, showed them what Pisay looks like, and then went back to the cubicle. I did a video earlier, and which I posted on Twitter, showing how what does it feel, what does it sound like sitting inside my cubicle. So aside from this construction that's happening inside, in SH second floor, outside the faculty, where you would hear the hammering, talagang wild yung paghammer eh. You can hear everyone else also apparently in the faculty, which makes me even more awkward when I handle my classes because I was trying to figure out what's the perfect combination of sound suppression and how high my gain on the microphone should be,
Mm,
which which was very well. Kasi like I kept on asking my students, "Do you hear me? Is everything okay? Narinig niyo ba ako?" And they kept on saying everything's fine kasi apparently they can hear my voice very clear. The only thing that's throwing me off is apparently I'm hearing everyone else around me in the faculty that my usual voices in my head that leads the presentation are nasasabaw because around the faculty. And I'm worried kasi I'm very curious what they're talking about. Like, ooh, is that juicy news? My someone spilling the tea over there, so on and so forth. Because I don't like to be part of the conversation, but I like I like listening into those conversations, I guess.
mm.
But yeah, there's a lot of adjustment. That's the thing. And a lot of teachers had to make own adjustments as well. Actually, Soxa unit was assigned to the swimming pool area to handle their classes over there. So I don't know how the acoustics would be with regard to the setup
Yeah, that's not gonna
because
be good.
yun nga eh, like I'm thinking, will I still be heard if I'm handling my class while I'm doing laps around the pool? I'm just kidding. Uh, but that the thing is, the biggest thing na nagulat ako though was that I was cold after lunch. Like, okay, so usually okay pa. Like I have that energy, enough energy to play, to check work, to update emails, to do my work. But earlier, I said, okay, um, after lunch, okay, so after me and Sir Tarsi did our morning shift in school, we headed home because everyone is gunning for the morning shift so that they do all their synchronous classes in school and then come home after noon, which is the end of their shift, so that it was traffic in the afternoon. The problem for me, however, was that after lunch, maybe the lunch was really good. We had takeout because we had takeout, yun lang. But should we are we sponsored? Should we sponsor that
No.
should we mention them? It's
Hey,
really
if you
good though.
want, if you
Did
want.
you okay? Chicken Chingu, really good chicken. Apparently they have other stores though. I wanted to introduce it to Mina as well. So maybe it's something that we try. But Chicken Chingu, again, mentioning it out there, they actually have a promo with Grab. So if ever you want to try it out, go try it. It's pretty good. Anyways, so that's what our advertising voice sounds like. Very natural, right? So if everyone for us to advertise your stuff, let us know. Anyways, going back after lunch, I said, I think I can play. I want to play a game because after the bar exam, I haven't played a game. Well, aside from Genshin Impact and Valorant, I haven't played a story-driven game yet. So I tried playing Tomb Raider, and I'm not sure if Mark noticed.
All right, again.
Uh, you were in the where did I cut off? Sorry.
You're not sure if I noticed.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure if Mark noticed, but uh, I was falling asleep apparently while I was playing Tomb Raider. Like
Okay, I
I
didn't know
kept
that.
on, I kept on. Uh, I was so surprised with what was on the screen because everything keeps on looking as though it's new. And like, what's with this level? Like, there's no continuity in the map. Then I realized that I kept on pushing forward and falling asleep, and then realizing, what? I skipped something. What happened? And like, no. To the point that I can't play anymore. That much energy was drained that I had to take a nap earlier in the afternoon. Sobrang hindi ko kaya. So, ayun, I disappeared from the room earlier where Mark was handling his sync classes. I took a nap. Energy can be very, very draining.
Mm.
And ayun, the in relation to effort, yeah, the mileage of effort.
That was kind of a stretch. Not a very smooth segue.
Okay, so it says I'm getting old. And honestly, I feel like the memes that says about like when you're young, you don't have money, you have all the energy, but you don't have the money to play games. When you get older, you have all the money to buy games, but you don't have the energy to play them.
No, no,
But I'm
it's
both. I don't have money or the energy to play games.
well. I mean, you're supposed to not have the time to play games, but
Hey, I compartmentalize my time ish.
anyway. So, um, that really wasn't a smooth segue. I just want to say
No,
it.
it's not. No, I'm just saying it as it is on how tiring today was. Like it was, and we still have 4 more days to do this. Like,
Well,
what
four
about
more days
students?
this week.
4 days this week, yeah, 4 days this week, and then do it all over again next week. Like, how about the students? Will they be able to have the energy to actually attend morning to afternoon classes? Or like, is the company of social people enough to carry them all over from waking up 5 a.m. to getting home back at say 6 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m.
Honestly, I think at this rate we're going to need to have to schedule like nap times or something like that.
Like in a like kinder programs where
uh,
they put you to sleep for for an
Honestly,
hour or two.
yeah, like a 20-minute, 20-minute
That
break na
doesn't sound
parang.
bad actually. Oh, you actually went to Italy, right?
Hmm?
And is it true that there's such a thing as was it Italy or Spain that has siesta time? Oh wait,
It's
I
more
think it's Spain
Spain.
because
Hmm.
because it's Spanish, right? My bad. But I'm down for that. Like siesta time. Everyone gets to sleep.
Hmm. No, but I guess the reason why I thought about this particular topic was, yun nga, I feel like when I was thinking about it more and more, especially as the stream was approaching, so given that 1 hour window that I had to think about the meat of the topic, I only came up with the title and not much else. I kind of feel like we talk about how like uh, it's like effort is that one thing that uh, everyone has uh, if we were to kind of talk about it like currency, so effort is the one currency, the one universal currency that I think everyone does have. Because some people say it's time. No, not a, not everyone has a lot of time. So, but
That's grim.
because no. I mean more in terms of ano. Kasi if it's time, it's you can ano parang okay. How much time do you have to work on this particular thing? Okay, so I have to do this, this, and this, and this. So I can give you like 30 minutes to do that. So time is a number. You have 30 minutes to do it, or you can spare 15 minutes for that thing, 1 hour for that other thing, and so on and so forth. There's a number. And it can be bigger, it can be smaller, depending on your personal circumstances. But when I think of effort, it's more like a percentage. So even if you only have 5 minutes to give, if you give all of your effort, then uh, it's I feel like a better measure of like the worthwhileness of the things that we do,
Mhm.
and so nowadays, well, I kind of also remembered some things about like our previous Tarcy talk. Na, there's things like getting demotivated, and uh, and the thing is, effort. Again, it's I realized the more I was thinking about it, it's a pretty good constant because you can still put in effort even if you're demotivated. And yeah, I mean, you can turn in something that is of absolute poor quality, but you put in your best effort, and yan, parang that's good enough. So I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, effort is it's a pretty good uh, it's a good tool to use whenever we're thinking about the things that we do, rather than time, rather than output, rather than the number of things that we do. It's uh, it's it's good to think about what are the things that we put effort in, and uh, how much of our effort, or I guess how I don't know how pure is the effort we put into it.
Wow. Purity.
Na,
I like
parang
that. Okay.
kasi yun nga, parang you can half-ass things eh. So that's not a very pure. Parang kumbaga if we're talking about mileage and fuel, parang ano siya, parang low octane cheap na
Okay,
galing sa
okay. Well, doesn't that contradict your uh
hmm?
the the official, do we call it the official tagline
Hmm?
of
What's
Tarsh
up,
Talks,
fuel?
that doing, what was it? Half-assed?
Na
What was
parang
it?
doing something poorly is better. Ano, parang, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing poorly.
Ah,
Well,
okay, yeah, yeah.
okay, so say you have a car, right? And
I do
you
have a car,
oh,
which you don't want to ride.
yes, I don't want to ride that car. Okay, but if you have, let's say you have a car and you want to go somewhere, so I mean, you'd rather put good quality fuel in it, right? But if you don't have good quality fuel, then
Uh,
you put, I don't know, whatever fuel you have available. So get the car moving. But of course, uh, you'd want to put better fuel. I mean, assuming that they all cost pretty much the same.
yeah, if they had cost it. And that's the thing that I wanted to ask. Like, do we relate effort with energy? Because yes, you might have the effort, you might have the intention, but what about energy? Is we considered the same with effort?
Nah, that's something completely different. So, I mean, you can put in full effort with having high energy, having low energy. So I feel like that's a separate kind of. I think it's like a multiplier in a certain sense. Parang uh, if you have high energy and high effort, then yeah, you're definitely going to get a lot of things done. Low energy, high effort. Uh, I mean, I know, good enough. High energy, low effort. You're gonna be all over the place. Um, so things like that.
All right. So in relation to how do we apply our first day in order
Mm.
to carry us all over to the end of third quarter, fourth quarter, and same goes for the students. How would you say, what are the things that we may have to adjust to, if need,
Uh,
or is this something that we have to build up to? that we have to just get used to coming to school.
Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. Was parang
No, like
we're we're connecting it to what we're talking about right now.
yes, yes, you're correct. Yeah, like you mentioned, like now that we're feeling this dread, we're feeling the dread na, especially for us, we kind of pooped out really early at the start of the week when our talks are meant to be the high energy that all the students need. You know, get them
We're
across
supposed to
throughout.
be high energy. When has that been our
Well,
brand?
that has been our brand ever since.
Yes.
Or look here, I've been telling them, yeah, this is something that, because you if you plan talks on a Wednesday, it's like a hump day where you try to get them over the middle of the week and try to jettison them all the way to carry over to Friday. Now,
Mm,
now if you start on a Monday and to get carry them all the over throughout the whole week, di ba?
oh. Well, I mean, the main reason why we chose Monday was because Friday no one's going to watch us. Wednesday, people are going to ignore us. So Monday is like the
That's
best time to be
true.
Monday.
That's very, very true. But yeah, like with the Monday blues of everyone feeling not the energy, and
mm,
in order for us to have effort to get throughout the week.
well, again, I know. I feel like you're confusing energy and effort. Eh.
I think
Um,
so too.
the thing is, and personally, I'm not an, I'm really not an energetic person. I mean, boses pa lang eh, honestly. Uh, parang, yan, I'm not a very high energy person. But I guess what I was trying to, what one thing I wanted to kind of point at with regards to effort is that as much as effort is kind of like this universal fuel or universal currency that everyone has access to, that despite having high energy, low energy, uh, little time, a lot of time, that we can always at the very least put in an effort into whatever we're trying to do, a lot or a little. Um, it has to be directed. Parang you can have all the fuel in the world, but if you're driving the wrong place, then you're not gonna go. You're not gonna reach what you're going to. And I feel like, well, personally, this is kind of what I'm feeling at the moment. Again, that feeling of being stuck that we mentioned before in past streams, that I feel like I'm spending a lot of effort. I'm spending putting a lot of effort in things that aren't really taking me the place that I want to go. So I'm spending a lot of effort and I'm investing a lot of which involves investing time and energy uh, into things that yeah, don't have much to do with the things that I really have to do. So my work, my studies, or at the very least, there's this sense of kind of burning fuel in a certain sense. That
Mhm.
burning fuel, parang for those, I'm not sure if everyone knows how to drive a car in chat, but it feels like I'm going down the highway on first gear or second
Hey,
gear.
that was the Lancer. How we were driving.
But yeah, so for those who are not familiar with driving a manual car, or I guess even
Very
a automatic
inefficient.
car, yeah. So the idea is that uh, you shift to a higher gear so that uh, depending on how much fuel you're spending, you get more distance out of it. But obviously, when you start off, you need to start with a lower gear. But uh, uh, yeah, definitely not as efficient as driving at a higher gear. And I feel like for a lot of us nowadays, we feel spent, uh, but at the same time, we also see that we haven't gotten much anywhere because yeah, I feel like we're stuck in first gear or we're stuck in second gear. Uh, so honestly, as for how to get out of that, uh, it does. I think this is going to be something that changes per person. So if you're, as much as I'd like to kind of like, oh, so if you're feeling stuck or you're feeling like you're in first gear and you want to shift to that higher gear, do this. No, sorry. Uh,
Take coffee breaks or take 10-minute naps in every subject. No, honestly, yeah, it is
honestly,
person to
there's no
person.
there's no quick one because again, these are your goals. These are your the things that you want to do, your motivations, and so it will take a good amount of thinking. And sometimes that's something that we don't like to do because uh, yeah, it's time that we're spending not moving forward. But you have to realize, I think, and this is the great part of it, that even that part, that reconsidering of goals, that reconsidering of how we're spending our effort, is effort in itself. So I guess I'm warning everyone against that feeling of going forward for the sake of going forward. If you need to stop and take a look at where you're going, then by all means do so. There's that. You remember the seventh habit, Josh?
Seventh habit: sharpen the saw.
Hmm.
Wait,
So,
before everyone before anyone starts judging us as a cult.
hmm?
Before anyone starts judging us as a cult, because I actually answered that pretty too quickly. The seven habits of highly effective people are it's a training program. Na helps you helps you what we say have better habits to make
Hmm.
yourself effective. So it does
Which
sound
is
like
the
a cult the
title
way
of
how
the
I answered
it's the title of the program.
it's and the way how we say program, it sounds like a brainwashing thing. But no, no, no. It was really just like a self help program, and yeah, sharpening the saw is something that's important. Me to say, uh, it's not meant to murder or kill anyone, but sharpening the saw means to say, uh, the tools that you use every day tend to. Therefore, you have to make sure that the more blunt they are, the more effort you would use in order to accomplish the same output. So, in this scenario, what you want to do is that you want to either refreshing your tools or try to retool your tools, more of recalibrate your tools to
Mm,
make it as efficient as it was back then when you had first bought them, so
mm,
that uh, you use less or the same amount of effort back then to produce the same amount of output, as opposed to having blunt tools that you use too much effort to produce the same amount of uh, output.
mm.
So
Essentially, invest in yourself.
yes,
Don't measure things purely by output or by your own standards, but invest in you, invest in yourself, invest in your values,
would
and
taking a nap be considered investment?
yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So, I mean, of course, you do have to measure it against. There are pros and cons. So, parang, if your nap is going to last 3 hours, and in during those 3 hours you're supposed to have a synchronous class or an asynchronous class, maybe you can move it somewhere else. So,
who who meets us during asynchronous classes? That's the thing.
yeah,
No,
that's true.
but that aside, that's a whole different problem. But yeah, honestly, I knew that I was gonna drive later on in the afternoon because I was gonna bring Mark home back to his place. So I knew that sleep driving is very dangerous, and I don't want to be, I don't want an accident to happen. That's why. Plus, in preparation for the stream,
Mm.
to get my dailies in Genshin and dailies in Valorant, I need to be 100% sharp again.
But yeah, so taking into context this whole getting back at the school thing, so we see people expending their efforts into trying to get us to that goal of attending in person, and yeah, I mean, efforts are going to be expended somewhere, some efficiently, some not so much. Uh, so there's going to be a lot of growing pain, so to speak. But yeah, just to keep in mind those things that uh, you do have the uh, you are at liberty to choose what you spend your efforts on. So uh, choose wisely in certain sense.
Do
Okay.
they?
Hmm?
Do
Oh,
they? Do they
do they
really
have the
have
freedom?
the yeah, considering that they have to keep their grades up.
Okay, well, that's a whole other talk about
Oh
parang
yeah, that's a whole different
are
thought. I mean, like
are grades your priority?
that's true. Like if you can pass, then just pass. It doesn't have to be 1.0. Like you don't have if there are some other things that that is important than you being DL that you consider is important, then prioritize those things.
Yeah, that's enough. Honestly, let's spend that in already for the next talk.
Yeah, that's a different
Uh,
topic.
so
Okay.
that probably makes that. Okay, so yeah,
Transition.
let's use
No, no.
this remaining
Uh,
time for
I
what?
would say let's try. Okay, I wanted to also try the Pisay Hugot because I did get a lot of samples from Pisay Hugot, which would be great discussion topics as well.
Okay.
But we also made a promise to our audience that we would answer the questions that they had personally made for us as well. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe we answer two questions from before
Yeah,
and
two or three.
then two questions from before.
Okay, sige, fine.
It's
I
like,
mean, depends on how fast we are.
all right, okay.
Can
You
you
want me
handle
to
the
share?
sharing? Yeah.
Okay, okay. I shall share. Um, where's Discord? Okay, I am sharing. Do you remember where we stopped off?
If you show it, I can probably figure out.
Okay, 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 okay. Because it's gonna be the same, same suggestion that we're gonna say. That's why it's gonna feel familiar.
We'll see. We'll see. No, just let me know when you're sharing already.
Yo, why is it not sharing? Oh, there. There you go. I shall zoom, 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 zoom.
Hang on. Uh, okay, just fix the scene so that.
So while Sir Tarcy is still fixing the setup, how's everyone? How is your week? We shared to you how our Monday went. How about your Monday? Are you for our college alumni? Are you back to school? For our precise students, you're actually halfway through the quarter. Does it feel? Does it feel? Are you excited for summer vacation? For SIP? Oh no! For our grade 10 students, you're gonna have to do your SIP soon. For our graduating students from batch 2021, oh, we're gonna miss you. But yeah, you guys are gonna be heading to college soon. Also, entrance exam results would be coming out very, very soon as well. So, oh yeah, you should do art streams sometime, Marie.
Hmm?
No, Marie mentioned that she's still drawing.
Mm,
She does really good drawings, by the way. For those who would like to commission Marie, I'm not sure if her commissions are open, but just follow her. Binagsak ko quiz ko today. No! Oh, okay, Mark, how would you say about this?
hmm? Which one?
Would you say the comment from Auxilio, I think this is Jules, he says, binagsak ko ang quiz ko today. If you say binagsak, is it something that you purposely did?
Well, I mean, the wording, the proper language wording means that it was purposeful. Pero I don't think. Uh, Kasi I mean, that's how some people talk. So, and I feel like some people are would speak like this if they feel like it's their fault because they didn't put in the right effort. So not necessarily purposeful, pero it feels like it's still their fault in a certain sense.
Okay,
Yeah,
so how would you say to help that person that feels na weren't
binagsak
able
ko.
to put enough effort and then yun tuloy bumagsak sila?
admittedly, I feel like people
Not
have.
intended, but this fair deserved though.
Hmm, I feel like people have to. This is something that I'm still trying to know, and it's kind of hard to say as a teacher, but you do have to kind of get used that there are going to be times that you will fail
Yeah. Why is that hard to say? Honestly.
because we do want them to pass.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. But no, honestly, in a learning environment, it's best to it's best to make the mistakes here than outside. You
Mm.
learn from your mistakes. The worst thing that can happen is that if you don't learn from your mistakes. Okay? So like bumagsak ka, okay, it's done. There's no use crying over spilled milk. What you do is that you can do it two ways actually. Like, do I have to learn the material more or do I have to put a little bit more effort as to the study? Because preparing for exams is two different things. It's material, you have to prepare for the material. You also have to prepare for the the study habit or the manner of studying. Like, what's your effective way of studying? Do you need highlighters? Do you need to wake up at this certain time? Do you need coffee to perk you up, and so on and so forth. So you have to learn what went wrong back then, and then that's when you truly learn. Honestly, so if you
Okay.
do better next time, so good. Okay, so yun, that was
Going
a
to the
mini
question.
mini. Go to the question.
We're done with that. This one, we're done with this one.
Okay, we're done with this one. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I think that was the first one we answered, or one of the first
No,
one.
this is number 4 already.
Okay. Going.
Oh,
No, we're
yeah,
done with
we're
that.
done with it.
Let's see. Okay,
Ooh,
this one.
wow. What the heck? This is
I,
heavy.
I feel like this doesn't apply to everyone, but okay. Some people,
Well,
I guess. And
maybe we should start off as a baseline what superiority complex is because we might have different understandings of superiority complex.
what different conceptions of
Well,
spirit?
how
Yeah.
do you understand superiority complex? Like you feel that you're better.
Yeah.
Yun, di ba? Okay,
Mm.
so we have the same. Okay, just making sure. So,
Oh.
okay, in your voice.
Uh. Okay. Fine. Dear Sir Tarcy, how to deal with a superiority complex developed during Pisai? Honestly, does Pisai give you a superiority complex? I feel like when I went through Pisay, I had an inferiority complex. Parang, then again, I wasn't to the point. Okay, I had an inferiority complex to all of my batchmates in Pisay to the point that I came out. I felt like I was normal among them, so it kind of balanced out, I guess, the superiority of Pisay and then my inferiority to my batchmates. Um, but okay, so um, okay, superiority complex. It's going to no, you're going to get it because you're going to look at yourself and see that you know more things than other people. Or parang Pisay has trained you to do write better research or solve problems better and so on and so forth. In fact, it really does. I've talked with some of the older alumni, batch 2018 and other batches, and they say that there are some things that was really hammered out of them in research and other subjects that they see their fourth year college, third year college classmates are making, and yun nga, parang so there is that sense of intellectual superiority. Now, it's only a problem if you are using that superiority complex to kind of hold yourself over other people. So, is it wrong to recognize that you do actually know more than other people? As long as you're truthful about it, then and that you really do know more about them in a particular topic, then no. In fact, it's good that you recognize that, okay, I'm good at this. I know more about this topic than certain people. I can help them with that. Or parang if we're dividing workloads, then I'm good at this particular aspect because it's the more research oriented, etc., etc. Then it helps in the sense that you know what your strengths are. But if you're using it in the sense na okay, I'm better than these people, which I mean, not really a good basis for intellectual. Your intellect is or your grades or whatever is not really a good point for you to compare yourself with other people or to value other people with. So that's not going to be enough. That's not going to be something you want to use as. So the thing is, the way that this person worded it, he already has it. It seems.
Oh, grabe
So
naman.
no, I mean,
Really? Wow, the psychology level of work is really
no.
Are you
Kasi
sure?
parang he's asking.
To identify?
No, he's asking in a sense that he already. It's like he's asking about a current concern, not a
Ah,
possible concern. So
okay,
parang
okay.
I'm worried about developing a superiority complex. No, it's not that. It's how to deal with a superiority complex. So okay, can you be proud that you're Pisay? Yes. Can you be proud that you know a lot of things? Yes. Should you be truthful that you do know certain things more? Yes, but it should never be a grounds for valuing yourself over other people. So you could be the smartest person in the group, but yun nga, parang if you're parang using that as a point that no, I won't follow what this person is telling me because I know more than him, when in fact he was the one put in charge, then that's a superiority complex that you have to get over.
But isn't it okay? It's one thing to the confidence in our students so that they understand these concepts
Mm-hmm,
and it would be easier for them when they get to college.
mm-hmm.
It would be hard for them to not compare themselves with others because they'll see the stark differences between themselves,
Yeah,
right?
there's nothing wrong
Especially if
comparing.
especially if the Pisay students start like sila pa yung magbubuhat ng mga group works and
Mm-hmm,
performing all of these extracurricular activities on top of their academics. In some of our 2021 students that picked up officerships in clubs when they're still in the first year of college. So like, hello, don't you need to adjust first? But they say na, you know, they're used to the workload in Pisay.
mm-hmm.
Now the question is, isn't it like, don't you have should it be isn't there pride to feel in the work that you feel that you know this stuff?
No, yeah,
But
you can definitely feel proud.
but you shouldn't say it.
No, you shouldn't hold it over other people. Na parang,
But
oh, look at
like
me.
In Valorant, I keep on
Uh,
playing with people that keeps on saying GG easy to me whenever they beat me in Valorant. Like,
okay, I mean, that's toxic, honestly.
but would you say okay? Could it be toxic for to have superiority complex in from Pisay? Would there be toxicity as well? And when they get to
Wait,
college, you think?
you're asking if having a superiority complex is toxic?
That's a given, right? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's kind of. I think
I
that's.
never had. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. I never had. Like, okay, I'm gonna read out a comment that I can relate so much to. Crystal Moons. I'm not from Pisay, so I really don't feel this way. Crystal Moon says, I wish I was smart enough to have a superiority complex.
Mm.
So I feel so much with the with Crystal Moons. That's very.
I
Nathan
mean,
says, you first. You first. Go
I
ahead.
mean, any kind of complex is definitely not healthy, whether it's a superiority complex or an inferiority complex.
Okay, that is true. That is kind
Mm.
of true. What's the
So,
Nathan says
wait, sige,
yes,
go.
you first. Please finish your thought.
Okay, fine. But okay, the idea behind the complex is that it's influencing your view and how you feel that other people should treat you. So if you have a superiority complex, you feel that you're better than everyone else, and therefore everyone should treat you better, which is definitely not true. I mean, you could be better, but everyone doesn't have to treat you better for it. Having an inferiority complex, on the other hand, you feel like everyone is going to treat you worse, or you're not never going to be good enough, that the world is treating you either with kid gloves or parang being too hard on you. So yes, you can definitely recognize that you're weak in certain aspects, but that doesn't give you parang you shouldn't just color the entire world with that particular lens.
I have a question now.
Mm.
What if okay, that was all of these answers, all of these suggestions that Sir Tarsi was giving was in relation to what if the author of this question was the one having the complex. What if you see someone else in Pisay having superiority complex? How do
Mm.
you deal with them?
Honestly, personally, I would
You
think that
call them out?
uh, calling them out you can, but I feel like if the person has a superiority complex, they're not going to care. Kasi, yeah, they are better, so therefore they won't value the opinion unless you're friends with them, uh, because that's the only way to actually listen. Honestly, the best thing that you can do is well, okay,
Beat
so
them in their own game.
well, I mean, if you could, but if you can't, then kasi malay mo, they really are good. Uh, I would say the best way to kind of counteract is don't feed their ego. Uh,
Oh, okay.
na yun nga, parang yeah, you definitely acknowledge that they do this work, pero once they start seeing their own praises, then I mean, just just turn the other way and then talk about something else. I feel like yun nga, parang people with superiority complexes, yun nga, they're feeding their ego away. So don't give them fuel.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's a much better suggestion than I was thinking. Like
When we're thinking,
I was thinking like ilabas niyo na lahat sa retreat. Tapos para malaman niya. But yeah, like as if magkaka-retreat. But yun. So, yan. Those are our tips from Sir Tarsi. Nathan says, baka pagdating sa college. So like these things kind of manifest in college. Yeah. And Mark did mention that it does. Oh, wait. Mark did mention that it does come out later on in college. Katrina says, Lamau, it gets worse for some people after leaving Pisay. Ooh. Have you ever met like have you ever had batchmates like that? Or
mm,
met one from Pisay that kinda felt more more egos, more superior since that they got to college because they got
I,
to compare themselves?
well, I mean, all of us in physics were kind of crushed by the professors, so not much of an ego to be had. Uh, oh yeah. I mean, there was this, can I talk about it without repercussions? Anyway, there was this one guy. Uh, he had this one particular achievement that he would kind of drop it every now and then. Oh, kasi ganito yung ginagawa namin as part of that thing that he was a part of.
Mhm.
And so yun, he
Taga-Pisay
keep,
siya?
huh? Actually,
Taga-Pisay?
hindi nga siya Pisay, or at least I don't think so. But yun nga, but he was manifesting that superiority complex because of that thing that he was a part of. And so yeah, honestly, it was kind of annoying to a certain extent, depending on how close you were to him or uh, how often he would bring it up. But yeah, you just as long as you don't feed the ego,
Feed the
parang,
ego. Oh.
oh wow, parang tell us more. Parang, that's kind of weird to say though. Parang yun nga, parang don't rebut it. Don't no, if you just ignore it, parang it's just going to parang
Like,
I don't
good
have
for
anything
you.
to actually, parang I think that's parang a very casual. Ah, okay, so we're done talking about that.
So you would say this is a real thing that happens in Pisay?
uh, to be honest, yun nga, among the people that I talk, they recognize that they're better. I'm not sure. I don't know because I talk with them on a more personal level, and so I don't see how they actually interact with their classmates.
Okay,
I
so alumni peeps in the chat, let us know if Are there any batchmates that no? Well, let's not make a drama channel about this. But you do know if ever you do have any batchmates that are starting to feel like this when they get to college, just don't feed the ego. You know lang.
Okay, one more.
One more. If you would like to oh no, not that one.
So this not
Ooh.
this less a question for advice and more of what?
Uh
Uh,
Curiosity cat
hmm,
question.
hmm. Okay. Dear Sir Tarcy.
Oh, before we leave that, Nathan wants to add. Um, Nathan says, a lot of my batchmates actually got really smart in college. Kahit yung ibang mga medyo patapon no high school. Gave me an inferiority complex. Oh no. Although Nathan's group was known to be a very weird group. Baka kagrupo mo ba? Yung the ones that come from Pisay na nakabarong and then go to the mall. That's a whole
Hmm?
sa sa mall. But I can't remember what mall. Trinoma yata. Anyways, so
Hmm.
question. No, dear Sir Tarcy.
Uh, Dear Sir Tarcy, if you know you only have 24 hours left to live, would you tell anyone and what would you do? Mm, you want to go first or do I go first?
Tell them what? Oh, about the 24 hours?
Mm.
Would you tell anyone and what would you do? Huh. Parang I'd be too busy doing stuff to tell anyone. Like just find out about me in the newspapers and then it's done. Ikaw muna. Sige, you first.
Uh, if I had only 24 hours left to live, I kind of feel like it would be divided between doing the things na parang, okay, since I only have 24 hours left to live, parang that thing that I've been putting off na, ano, okay, let's do it, do as much as I can about it. So, and so that's half. The other half, kind of making sure that parang everything is in order. Pag
Yeah,
tapos
that's
na
true.
parang kasi parang
When you get older, you leave a lot of things hanging that you need
can you
to
imagine
settle.
na parang ano na okay, one of my worst fears, or well, not really a worst fear, pero parang sana hindi mangyari is na I die in the bathroom. Na ano?
Yeah.
Na people have to find me in the bathroom naked and then kind of have to deal with that. So at the very least, if I have 24
So,
hours,
gusto mo nakabarong
naka-ready
ka na,
na ako.
nakahiga ka na,
Nakasuot na ako ng, ano, ng coat
naka-makeup ka na
and
lahat-lahat.
tie, nakahiga ng diretso, naka-fold na lahat ng gamit ko sa tabi. So, okay, parang grab the stuff,
Would you
move
get
the
a
next person
haircut?
in.
Would you get a haircut though?
I mean,
Or would you let the mortician do it?
yeah, probably. Ano, kasi parang, if I'm going to be budgeting my time, parang, okay, I feel like, yeah, that stuff can be done after I'm dead.
So exactly. Eh. So these are the things that you have to consider. Like, what are the things that can fix itself without me doing anything about it? Those are the things
Mm,
that sige, kahit hindi na. Then the things
mm,
that needs to be fixed. Yun. Okay, Mina did mention this, say in the comments, which I forgot. I needed to mention also. Sorry,
mm,
Mina. I would of course tell the closest people, because they need to know. That's one thing. But
mm,
in relation to things to do, really about closing accounts, like because a lot of things create a lot of problems after death, like account problems, bank account problems, wills, and so on and so forth. Like these are the things that you wish you could have fixed during your lifetime before you would die. So I think I'd be spending at least one fourth of my day trying to figure out all of these things.
mm,
Which is sad. It kind of sounds sad, but honestly, it would be very convenient for those that you leave behind.
mm.
Super convenient. Aside from that, should I play a game? It's not like I could watch a let's play on YouTube that I'll speed forward. Like I'd have to choose the game also. Watch a
Mm,
movie. I'm so behind Marvel movies.
mm,
Like because a lot of them moved to the series, which I couldn't follow the series. That's why I feel so lost if I would jump to the movie straight. So like, uh, maybe if I meet them in heaven, they tell me about it. Uh, that's assuming that I was to go up there. But everything else, like, oh, that's another thing. Would you take a nap in that last 24 hours?
I mean, I probably would avoid doing it, but I also feel like that once I'm in that, parang, I mean, might as well. Parang, but
Kasi parang isipin mo, kayang oras yata kung magnanap pa ako.
yeah, yeah, I get. But at the same time, parang, I mean, things aren't
Ooh,
going to matter after now. So,
uh, would you settle your things with faith?
hmm?
Knowing that you have 24 hours to live, would you start trying to like be extra faithful on that last day?
I mean, the goal is parang I'm kind of ready every day. So,
Okay, so at least for you, okay. But like for others that say that maybe later on in life I'll just dedicate my life to my religion and so on and so
mm,
forth. So like I'm thinking na parang but I do all of those things inside church, so at least I get plus points
yeah,
if I'm negative points.
I mean, it's only one confession away. So,
Oh, Nathan said, akala ko settled like YOLO mode. That's not so bad. Like, if you want to go out in your terms,
mm.
but you kind of know that you have 24 hours, so parang sayang yung extra hours din
Babawasan
eh.
mo pa. Parang, okay, I'm gonna go out on the 23:59 mark.
Mm. I'd eat though. I'd eat so that, like whatever I feel like or indigestion, I don't feel it the next day.
Mm,
So, okay. I guess kanya-kanya talaga sa amin
mm.
in relation to this question. Really
But
weird question. I thought they were asking for us help or something, but
mm,
huh.
I feel like we gave a very adult answer to what was more of
Mm,
a kind of
that's
like
true.
fun, Kasi I think
But
if you ask this to teenagers, parang it's going to be more like, oh, I'm going to do this hobby or travel to this place.
I'm gonna tell my
Uh,
crush that I have a
mm,
crush on them.
and then we
Yeah.
answered, put our affairs in order so that things are easier when we die.
No, well, oh my gosh, no, I never realized it, but it comes with age, I guess, which everyone I guess would feel afraid now of. But it feels normal, I guess, for us at our age. Na? Like,
I mean, we're 30. Parang it's,
do we have regrets on not doing things that we could have done?
uh, I don't know.
That's a whole different question. But for you
Mm.
guys, for whoever asked this question, I'm not sure if you're happy with our answers, but this is the reality for if you get to the age of 30 and above. These are the things that you're thinking about. I wish I had finished a lot of games, but you know, uh, papanoorin ko sa YouTube sa school. But let's see. I'm trying to get my energy back to gaming again.
Okay,
One last.
how about, now we can shift over to,
You want to do the Pasay Hugot?
yeah,
All right. Okay, okay. Let me just change the share. You see it?
yep, yep.
Okay. So this is the special part. Oh, what happened to stream?
Hmm?
Oh, uh, this is the part where we chose certain parts of Pisay Hugot and see if we can try answering naman what the general thing is out there. Now, I chose entries from main campus kasi I feel like iba-iba yung mga issues ng bawat campus and we might not know the context of the other campuses.
Mm-hmm.
So walang nakasulat na campus or main campus yung kinuha ko. So, okay, go Mark.
Okay, this is kind of a weird one. Okay, but okay. Any tips on how to speak English fluently? nakakaintindi naman ako, pero 'pag magsasalita na parang nakakalimutan ko ang words. Need ko talaga kasi malapit na mag face to face. Stand twice for life. Okay?
Okay. Now, is this a thing? Is this a have you ever encountered someone in Pisay that straight up Tagalog lang sila? They
Yeah.
couldn't. And also, was there a
Well,
thing like
mm,
is this a thing in Pisay? Kasi for us in my high school,
mhm,
we speak Filipino.
mm,
Uh but when I got to the reason why I enjoyed teaching Pisay because everyone kind of understands English, which I'm more comfortable with. So
mhm.
when was it ever a thing in Pisay na English speaking school siya?
By the time that Pisay was dominated by mostly the private schools that are mostly English speakers, so Ateneo, LaSalle.
Ah,
Uh,
really?
mm,
Oh, okay. No, okay. Coming from a school that was dominantly Filipino kasi they would actually award students that are best in speaking English.
mhm.
And I would win that one because
We
alam
couldn't speak
kong
anything
language at the
else.
time. Yeah, I could speak in Filipino back then. If they had worse speaking Filipino, I would have won that, I guess. But since there was a best speaking English, that's the only thing I knew. But yun nga, so it's usually Ateneo and but I don't notice a lot of Ateneo or Pisay students. Sorry, Ateneo or LaSalle high school students when I started teaching. And during your time, were you also did you
I
matches?
mean, there were Ateneans and they did speak English, pero parang it was more of a mixed, ano? It was a mixed bag. You had fluent English speakers and you had the mixed speakers that they speak English and Filipino interchangeably. So
But was it like how would I say this? Was it like an outlier to the
no,
point that people
parang
had to speak fluently or people would be picked on if they didn't speak English properly?
mm, not that I
Like a mean girl
noticed.
situation?
I don't think I noticed. Okay, but personally, with regards to this questions in particular, I feel like a person, uh, uh, a person with that Filipino accent speaking English, uh, yeah, I mean it sounds a little awkward, a bit clumsy, pero yeah, if you are able to speak it, then okay. But I feel like mas awkward yung uh, English and then uh, hindi marunong mag-Filipino, which parang I mean,
Is that
if I
you?
were
Is that us?
parang if I were to think about it and not restrain myself, parang yun nga, it's even a little funny na parang hearing the konyo ano, parang pagka-konyo ng pag Pilipino.
True.
Um,
True, actually.
but okay, but as for ano, do you need it for face to face? I don't think so. Parang I suppose if you're friends with a group of people who mainly speak in English, then it can be an issue. But I mean, I suppose you're friends because you find
Your
each other
friends to begin with,
entertaining.
yeah.
So yeah, honestly,
Practice with them.
it's going to parang the more time that you spend hanging out with people, you're going to pick up mannerisms. That can come from words that you say, expressions, down to the language. So uh, as long as you stay friends, keep talking, I feel like this will work itself out.
Ooh, I would suggest try try watching a lot of sitcoms that are English and also try conversing with people in English na rin just to practice it out. Uh I did have now that I realize it, I did have problems with speaking to students in Filipino. Like there are certain students that really insist on speaking to us in Filipino. And then
Mm-hmm,
I end up answering them in English
mm-hmm,
or Filipino na medyo pilit.
mm-hmm,
And it's really weird kasi I found out in myself na I don't speak that much Filipino as much as I hope that I wanted to be like, or I don't indulge myself much into the Filipino media, like um, movies, Pinoy movies.
mm-hmm.
Uh, There are some that are good, but I have my experience with Pinoy movies not so much that well, I guess, that to give me a good impression. Pinoy music, which is sad that I'm not that much appeal to Pinoy music, although I do promote local.
Mhm.
The tendency I do listen the Filipino or OPM songs that I do listen to are the ones that are sung in English. So
Mm.
kind of weird also.
I
Like
try listening to ano. You should try listening to Bisra.
this, oh, send it to me. Maybe it's like there's this one student that really speaks to me in Filipino, and
Mhm.
that student really kausapin ko siya in English. Hindi niya talaga makausapin in English. Talaga straight up Tagalog lang talaga siya.
Mm.
Then she introduced to me Ben and Ben, and like,
Mhm.
but the songs are in Tagalog. Like,
Mhm.
uh, do I understand this? But in fairness, I did enjoy Ben and Ben. It was a really nice intro for me to appreciate Filipino. And I guess, and in appreciating English, you have to try to expose yourself a little. Oh, Nathan says, when I taught batch 2022, I didn't realize right away na my sections na that I teach in English, my sections of Filipino. What was that, like a social experiment? Who would do better if I teach this class in English or if I teach this class in Filipino? Really? What sections were those? How about you, Mark? How do you teach in English, right? Like,
Mm.
it's pretty hard to teach. Is com sci teachable in Filipino?
Not that easily. I like to think na no. I teach the main things in English, and then I expound as needed in Filipino. So, parang I give examples in Filipino, but now that I think about it, it's still mostly English. It'll depend on the student that I'm talking to. So, parang if I notice that a student is talking to me mostly in Filipino, then I'll answer. I'll try to match the way that they're speaking.
Okay. Oh, Nathan says he only found out during a joint session with different sections na magkaiba pala yung teaching method niya. Dalia, oh, kawawang Dalia with to who has taught in Filipino. There you have it. So that's one Pisay Hugot for whoever out there from Pisay Hugot. If you're watching this, would they be watching this? I don't know.
Yeah, chances are pretty low.
Okay, let's try the next one. No, not that. Oh yeah, this one from Pisay Hugot.
Oh
It's
wait,
safe to
what?
tweet this because we know Shek.
I don't know, I feel like you should have blurred that or something. Okay. Okay. According to Shek, who is do we explain who Shek is? Okay, Shek is a Pisay, no? Pisay alumni. So, Pisay couples are so strong because of their shared trauma. Pisay. Hmm.
How do you feel about this?
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of looking at Pisay as this whole traumatic event.
I
Parang,
would.
really?
No, well, okay. It is a lot of shared. Okay, a lot of relationships are shared on things that you can relate to, and
Nah,
shared trauma is one thing.
no,
Uh,
I'm talking more about
in Pisay,
treating Pisay as a
yes,
trauma.
kasi like okay, for me, law school that was such trauma, and I think Mina, although Mina had high grades, I'm not sure if maybe it's traumatic just on my side that she can really I can relate to her at least, but if we would put kasi the difficulty in law school, I feel the difficulty is as well in Pisay. Like it's very rigorous. So that's where I was getting at.
Mm. No, pero kasi I feel like I'm not a fan of the idea of parang lumping your entire Pisay experience as trauma. Parang you definitely learned things. You grew. There were good times. There were also terrible times. And to just kind of lump it all up and then say na Pisay is traumatic, parang I feel like yeah, parang ang daming nawawala. Uh,
Okay. But is
hmm?
there a but there?
No, no,
Or
I
yun
mean,
lang
honestly,
as
kasi
is?
If I think of my ano, was it are there things that no, then again I was pretty boring in Pisay, so not much of a trauma to be had. But okay, but I think I'll be the first one to say that I did not have a fulfilling high school life. Uh, it was it's not the say a lot of I think a lot of people say that high school is like the most fun they had in their lives.
Uh,
Uh, for me, no. If ever I could go back to a time, it would probably be college. But
for me, I go.
but even though I can pretty truthfully say that Pisay wasn't a great time for me, uh, I'm not going to call it traumatic. I had good times. I had bad. The yeah, parang, it feels so it feels like how do I put it? It's like bad
You're
mouthing your
very
ex.
triggered.
Parang,
Ah, okay, okay.
parang ganun yung
Okay,
dating sa
I get it,
akin.
I get it, I get it. I get where you're coming from. Hmm. Okay, okay.
Okay, you?
Or do you feel it? Do you feel like it's too they're too inexperienced or too young to say it's trauma, quote unquote trauma?
I don't know. Trauma is going to depend on the person, so I can't really give a blanket
Speak for
statement.
her.
But
All
I
right, all
just,
right.
yun nga, to be just so dismissive na to call your entire visa experience as trauma. Parang, maybe
Okay.
contextualize what specific parts. Parang, was it a teacher? Was it a specific lesson? Parang,
Maybe Socksai. Shek didn't do too well in Socksai during my when she was my student.
okay, now you're just exposing her.
Okay. But what's your thought about what's your thoughts about Pisay couples?
Yeah, well, I mean, I gave some of my ideas about relationships last stream. Uh, in high school, the goal is more to discover about yourself, what you like, what are the things that you value, and what are the values in other people's that you kind of resonate with. So, um, for mm, uh, beside couples, I mean, yeah, there are no. Josh, you know you're streaming to another.
Is it
It's
okay, sorry.
moving.
I was preparing the next one, sorry.
so I'm just telling you because we can see everything. So
No, I was preparing the next one. Go.
okay. but I mean, okay, if they were able to bond, and I suppose uh, yeah, I suppose they get to know each other well because of that. And okay, I do have some concerns na parang it's like uh it might be some kind of version of I don't know what's the one? What's the one? Stockholm syndrome. Na parang just because they went through something tough together, na parang it's a basis for a
Uh,
relationship. So if ever, I mean that's one concern, pero I mean it's not necessarily always something that has to be brought up.
okay.
Are,
Sorry, I just pressed it because I was looking which direction should I press. That's why.
no, no, pero
Why-
you were you aware that you were exposing your parang,
I was what?
you were aware naman that everyone could see what you're doing.
No, I didn't know. I thought I opened a new tab. That's why. I'm so
Yeah, but
sorry.
you're sharing your entire screen.
No, I'm sharing a specific tab.
Uh, okay, okay.
That's why nagulat ako. Anyways. Okay. Sorry. Oh shoot, nawala.
Josh, you're exposing
No.
yourself again.
Yeah,
Do I need
I
to hide this?
know. No, nawala yung what? Ba't nawala yung wait. Oh, there. Okay. Okay na.
Okay, one more.
One last.
Mm. Oh, wait, do you want to weigh in on that topic?
The topic was about couples
Mm.
sharing trauma. Mm, same with you. Eh. Honestly, I do share the same shame share the same comments with you in relation to that.
Mm.
It's really about exploration when you're still at the high school level.
Okay, so last one for today. There's this one person I met sa internet. She was very important to me to the point na nagustuhan ko na rin siya. Umamin ako. She told me she questioned her sexuality because of me. Maayos lang naman yung week na yun pero biglang di na niya ako kinakausap. Uh, Thumbs up na lang. I'm not sure I can wait. I mean, considering my position, I'm not sure I can weigh on this. At least not in a way that's fair. Hello?
So not this. Like,
Well, I mean,
is
ano.
there no comment in this?
Okay, so I won't comment on the sexuality thing, but okay.
Uh,
Um, my the idea na bigla kang di kinausap. Okay, yeah. I mean, that definitely sucks. Regardless of sexuality. Um, but honestly, kudos for no.
we're trying.
For trying, for telling the person, conveying your intent, and the intent was conveyed. I mean, that's why they reacted that way. Mas mahirap yung parang it kind of misses the mark, and then yung I don't want to use the term friend zone, pero I mean that's the thing that comes to mind. But
Hon-
okay. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, it's not that bad to be friend zone because you're just putting too much expectation on what could have been
Mhm.
when you know you could actually be better as friends than something else, than a relationship. And this is when you start to realize that you try to value what do you have with each other than what could have been. And if what could have been did not work out, try to figure out how you can get back to how you enjoyed each other's company. Or maybe if you're really looking for a relationship, it's good that you know that would want you back because
Mhm.
it's a two-way street. You need that person to like you back as well. So if you're just gonna spend too much time and effort on someone that wouldn't like you back to the point that they actually question their sexuality, so good for them. You actually help them along their path, and maybe you can find your own way with someone else. But if it's something that you kind of miss, then try to figure out removing any part of what could have been, or like maybe we could have been more than friends. Try to talk about like maybe we can come back to becoming friends again. Now, how could you be friends with X? How about you, Mark? Do you think?
I think you can. It's just I do think that uh, if you're expecting your relationship to be as it was the
Oh
same as
yeah,
it
yeah.
was
No,
before, then no, that's definitely enough.
don't. Yeah, don't. No, no. But in this scenario, at least in this scenario, you know that you were good together as friends before. Wala pang
Mm.
relationships eh. So, yeah. Ooh, we have a new one. Nimbus WS says, dami ko ng friends online na bigla-biglang nagiging radio silent for months on end. Too many possible reasons, not enough of the possibilities are your fault. Oh, that's true. That is true. It um there are a lot of factors when it comes to online, and especially you don't see them personally. You can't get to figure out what had happened to them. So maybe give them time and space, honestly.
Well, I mean, honestly, uh, quickest way is you can ask.
Oh yeah, and that too. Just ask. And if they don't answer, maybe they just need time and space. Get to the point. YOLO is the right term.
I think
Anyways,
that's good for today.
that's it. That's it
Mhm.
for today. That's it from us. We will go back to school again, another round tomorrow, and hopefully we have effort, that much enough effort to get us through. Am I using it right?
No, you're not
Or I
using
still don't get
it.
it?
You're still using it as energy.
Yeah. I'll
Anyway, so yeah, that's it for today's stream. Again, you can still send us questions through that Google
send the
form.
link.
Yeah.
Yeah, the link
Uh,
is gone, and our
it's
no,
pinned
it's
in the
not
ano.
even in the
It's pinned
join
in
the Discord.
our. Hmm?
Join our Discord so you can find the link.
All right. So it's pinned in the recommendation text channel, so you can find it there, and we'll eventually get to it, assuming we keep on doing 2 or 3 questions every, So feel free to send us questions or things that you want us to answer. And even if it's not to send us a question, you can just uh, use that particular text channel to send us some recommendations about things that we should comment on, talk about, and so on and so forth.
Or if you have friends that are going through something and they need advice, you could for us to comment on so that they have the sage wisdom of Sir Tarsi and I. Oh no. I'm not sure if it's helpful though.
Okay, so I think that's it for tonight. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Good? Next week?
No,
Next
I
week
mean,
is what is next week? Next week is March 14 already. Oh my gosh. Vote
you got cut off.
Oh, I got cut off. Okay.
But yeah, thank you for joining us, and yeah, see you then. Bye bye.
Bye everyone and take care. Take care everyone.